and welcome to the Teaching Corner. We've been doing a whole series on executive functioning, and today we're going to talk about attention. And usually when we talk about attention, the first thing that comes to people's minds is attention deficit disorder or ADHD with hyperactivity in there. So oftentimes when people think about that, they think that attention or the ability to focus on something, that these students do not have it. But the actual thing is all of our brains are incredible, and they take in so much sensory information constantly. The sound of the air conditioner, the bright lights in my eyes, the fact that the clothes on are touching my body, all of these different things that our brain literally just tunes out and says, the important thing is I'm talking to the camera right now. Focus on that. But for our students who have ADD or ADHD, they're literally focusing on everything. So they're looking at how long is the teacher's hair? What color shoes? Oh, somebody over there was talking. I heard a squeaking pencil. Somebody's at the pencil sharpener. I just heard the door. Did you hear the bird outside? So-and-so speaking, da-da-da-da-da. And so their brains are going so fast, picking up on all of this information. One time, a dear friend of mine, her daughter has ADD, and she was put on medication, and she made such a profound statement. I'm not a huge advocate for every child to be on medication, but for those that it works for, it really works. And what finally changed some of my opinion about it is she actually came home and told her mom, I can actually look the teacher in the face. So that's one of the things that we're talking about, is for kids to be able to focus on what's important and what's not, to let go of those things. So one of the major things with attention is if your child does have ADD or ADHD, take the mystery out of it. Just explain to them what that means so that there's not this, oh, something's wrong with me. And then if you need to talk to your doctor about medications for your children, please do that. But as teachers or tutors or even parents, there are some things that we can do in our classrooms and at home to help our students. So one of those would be to allow for movement breaks and for brain breaks. These kids need to move a lot. Oftentimes it's like they have a little motor inside and they've got to move. So if you need a child to be able to sit in the back of the room so they can stand up if they need to, or during like a reading time if they need to pace. My younger son is a pacer when he reads. That's okay. We need to vary instruction. For these kids, a lot of times attention, what grabs their attention is something different. So varying instruction, using signals. If you have something that's going to be on a test, you might have a signal. I once saw a teacher who went, test alert, and so his students knew, okay, I need to write this down. This is really important. Again, leveraging their interest. If there's something in particular that your student really loves and they hate doing word problems, throw it into the word problems so that they'll be more interested in doing it if they love like a particular sport or something like that. It's important for these students to minimize noise and visual distractions. I have a little bit of an auditory thing myself where a lot of noise makes it difficult for me to concentrate on what's happening. So what I always tell my students is they can use any fidget or do anything they need to do so long as I can't hear it and I can't see it. So for instance, I had a student who had one of those little fidget spinners, and he would keep it in his lap and fidget with it, but it allowed him to focus on the teacher, and that was completely fine. Where some people go wrong with this is then an entire class was once bought these fidget spinners, and the vast majority of those kids would take it and spin it like this. Well, now that's distracting to everybody in the class. So that is one caution, that what works for one student may not work for all of your students, and you've got to be careful with that. I actually had another student with a TheraBand where the kids can flick it or swing their feet on the TheraBand on the bottom of their chair. Those are great for the kids who need it, but I had one who would thwang it like a guitar string, and so we had to take that off of her chair because that's distracting to everybody else. We need to develop planning skills, and I'll do link a video down below that we've done on planners. And then using behavior modification and self-assessment. So I'll put a link down below on a video that I did on behavior, what behavior is showing us and then how we can deal with those different types of behavior. But we always want to make sure that we're increasing the behaviors that we want to see and decreasing the behaviors that we don't want to see. So I used this example before, but if a child is constantly blurting in class, we want to increase the hand-raising behavior and decrease the blurting behavior. And then another thing we want to do is to eliminate frenetic work patterns for kids. So a lot of these kids want to cram right before or something like that. So we want to help them plan out and not have these frenetic moments, and we can help them by getting organized and by using daily planners, and I'll link those videos down below. But if you're at home, setting up a particular place, or even at school, a particular place where certain things are done, like here's our homework cubby, and at this we're going to have the calendar, and we're going to have pencils, and we're going to have paper, and we're going to have all the things that we need, so when we sit down in this location, work happens. And then allowing these kids to have wind down time. So the interesting thing about this, though, is you have to know your kid, and you might not know your kid well enough. You might have to try it a couple different ways is what I'm saying. Because for some students, the second they leave school, they are done. They are finished. There is no more schoolwork. There is no more homework. It doesn't matter if homework is assigned. They are done. And so what I've had students utilize at that point is if there's like a structured study hall at the end of the day, or tutoring that happens at the end of the day, allowing the student to go there so that they can get homework done at school, because so long as they're physically at school, they're still in school mode. I actually had a student who I tutored towards the end of the day, and her sister was younger than her and really struggled to get homework done. So her mom would take her across the street to the library, and they would do her homework while her sister was tutoring, and then when she went home, she would do homework with the other child. So sometimes kids need to get homework done right away, and then on the flip side of that, you have some kids who are so tired from the day, they have done all that they can do, they're just finished and they need a break. And so providing them with a break, my mom used to do this for us. When we would come home, we had 30 minutes, we could watch a cartoon and have a snack, and then we had to jump right into our homework. So some kids may even need to do it like after dinner. They might need a longer break. So that's where you have to know your child and what works best for them. But allowing that wind down time is really important for these kids so they don't feel like they're on all the time. I hope that was helpful. If it was, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!